All right, in this video, we're going to be doing a review of SEO Diddy, but I think they also pronounce it SEO Diddy. I think I heard the owner pronounce it that way, but anyway, let's go ahead and jump right into it. You'll probably hear me say each one of those interchangeably. But anyway, SEO Diddy is supposed to be a tool that is supposed to be an alternative to AHREFS, SEMrush, and Mangles. And this is well received because these tools are insanely expensive, and Ahrefs and SEMrush is. Mangles isn't as bad, but in terms of pricing, these tools are expensive. Ahrefs is around $110, and you don't even get that much with it. SEMrush is around $120, and I actually forgot how much Mangles is, but it's not as much as the other two. So a welcome change would be nice to have a tool to come in that can still provide something similar to what these can provide in terms of experience. But I can tell you right now, as of right now, SEO Diddy is very early in the phase of competing with Ahrefs, SEMrush, or Mangles. But just wanted to make you aware there is a lifetime deal. Sometimes it's just better just to get in with these tools when they're brand new. That way you can get in at a super cheap price, and you're going to get all of the updates that they ever create. And when the software itself takes off, and then it is as good as an Ahrefs or SEMrush, you're in for free and can use it forever. Just imagine getting Ahrefs for free. You know, it can be that beneficial for you over time as the tool takes off. So with that said, if you want to give SEO Diddy a try, be sure to visit my link bloggerevolution.com/SEO Diddy. That's bloggerevolution.com/SEO Diddy. The link will also be down in the description. Again, you will be able to try it out for 60 days, absolutely risk-free. So even if you try it and you don't like it, go ahead, just give it a try, see if it is. Because again, being able to get in on the ground level of a product like this, if it does end up becoming an Ahrefs or an SEMrush or even a Mangles for that matter, or an Uber Suggest, being able to have it and never have to pay for it again, it's pretty much worth its weight in gold. So go ahead, use my link down in the description, bloggerevolution.com/SEO Diddy, and give it a try. So let's go ahead and look into what you would get with SEO Diddy in terms of their license tiers. So they have quite a few options for us. You can stack one code up to 5 codes. That would cost you as much as $449, or you can go as cheap as $79. I went ahead and got the $79 tier just so I can try it out, and we'll jump into it in just a moment. But you get 2,500 web pages. These web pages are how many pages in a particular project that SEO Diddy will look at for you. Okay, the 300 keywords is the amount of trackable keywords you can use. 300 keywords is a pretty good amount of tracking that you can do, especially if you have a small niche site. You can list up to 10 competitors, so it'll give you constant information and updates on up to 10 competitors within your niche. 20,000 backlinks. Now, this doesn't mean that if you search one website and they have 30,000 backlinks that you're not going to see them all. It's only going to be the lists that are shown in the report, and the report only shows like 25 to 100 or so per, and you can change it to where it'll be a lot longer if you want to look at all of the backlinks, but it's just the ones that it shows you. So don't be afraid saying, oh, if I have a ton of backlinks on the site, I'm going to use all of this up in one report. It's not that bad. Did you get 250 on-demand on-site analysis per month, and an on-demand lighthouse analysis per month? So these things are going to measure the speed of your site. It can actually look at the robots.txt file, look at your indexing, look at all types of stuff, and make sure that all of those things are nice and up to par on your site, giving you a nice little analysis of what's going on. Very similar to what Ahrefs does, and they do that for free actually. Ahrefs will take a single site. As long as you own the site, you'd be able to do that. Now that's with the license tier 1. Then the numbers naturally would go up with license tier 2 and all the way up to license tier 3, 4, and 5. As I mentioned, I only got the $79 one for now, but if we scroll down and look at some of the reviews, there's 8 reviews so far. It's fairly new to AppSumo, but people are liking it. I'll say in my initial reaction is it's still very new, but it could be something to jump into just to be absolutely sure that you can get in, especially if SEO Diddy does become like a very decent size program. So let's go ahead and jump into SEO Diddy, and here's their Landing page here, you can actually add your website here, but as soon as you do, it's going to ask you to create an account with them. But you can add your website for free. I didn't see exactly what it would add because I went ahead and just purchased the tool itself. They do have some free SEO tools like a backlink checker, keyword generator, SEO checker, very similar to AHREFS. And let's look at the pricing for it right now. So as of now, you can get the bronze tier for $89, which is 3,000 web pages, 350 words, 10 competitors, 30,000 backlinks. Now, if you compare it to what's available over at AppSumo, you will see that it's a little less. 2,500, 310. When you go here, 3,000, 350, 10. So it's a little less on each tier that I've noticed, from the bronze, the silver, the gold, and the agency. But I mean, still, if you're just doing one site, then this isn't going to be a big difference. Going with the bronze is just fine. It gets really pricey when you are running an agency, or if you run, more than 5 or 6 sites. That it can start to add up in terms of pricing. But again, these are monthly fees, where with SEO Diddy, it's one time. You don't have to worry about paying for it ever again. And you have yourself a pretty awesome SEO tool. So that's the pricing for it. Let's go ahead and jump into the tool itself. So when you're first here, one of the first things it asks you to do is to add a project. So when you add a project, I'm going to go ahead and just get a random site that I pulled up. Let's get a random site that I pulled up, bowlingball.com. It pulls up all of the different types of URLs. So the www, the HTTPS, the HTTP, and all of that fun stuff. Just go with the HTTPS because it's going to include all of them anyway, and then click next step. Now, after this comes up, it will look at all of the keywords that particular website is starting to rank for, and from here you can start adding keywords to your keyword tracker. So on this particular term that I have, it's you get 300 or so keywords. So you can see something like ball power, just go ahead and throw that in there. Balls, bowling, balls, balls, that's kind of weird. Bowling balls, I'd rather rank for that. And you can see here the search volume. This gives you the seasonality. So let's jump in a little bit closer. So for bowling balls, you can see here, this is from January to December as to how often it's being searched. So of the 90,000 or so searches it gets per month, you can see here in March, it starts to peak and then starts to get a little bit consistent during the summer. And then down into the last 4 months of the year, it just starts to die a little bit more until it comes back in March. So you can see the cyclical nature of it right there. This is very helpful. So for example, ball power, you see it's searched up and down, but it's 5 million searches. And the fact that they want you to add this shows you it's pretty decent keyword to go after. So after you've gone through, you don't have to choose them all. I would probably only choose like 5 or 10 of these and then click start the analysis. Make sure that you're on the United States and on English, and then click start analysis. They do give you a video here that you can check out. Welcome to SEO Diddy. And the guy who runs SEO Diddy, or the CEO, he goes through a quick little video on how you can use the service. I'm going to be honest, I didn't find it super helpful, just kind of clicking around. But once it goes all the way through, you can click, you see what your domain rating is. You can look at organic keywords, organic traffic, paid traffic, backlinks, as well as referring domains. And it pulled this up fairly quickly, I must say. It does need to do an on-site audit for you. This on-site audit actually takes a while to do. It says time remaining about 30 minutes here. Time remaining about 30 minutes. So it's going to take some time in order for this to so that you can see exactly a lot of your on-page stuff. It'll see how many 404 errors you have on the site. Again, like I mentioned before, it'll read your SEO, your robots.txt file, and you can see what's going on your website and then offer suggestions. Based on what I saw, the suggestions were, some of them were valid, some of them are a little like, what's the difference? Some pages were missing a meta description, or maybe one had too many H1 tags, things like that. So that's going to give you some pretty good information that a lot of the other tools will give you as well. Actually, this just jumped up to 41 minutes. When I ran it on one of my other sites earlier, it probably took about an hour for it to grab all of them. So that this doesn't make a difference to me at all. That's normal so far. Hopefully it gets a little faster over time, but we'll see how it goes. Again, looking at the domain overview, we got the domain rating. If you scroll down, we have the organic shared overview. So we can look at the different countries, top keywords, I'm going to go ahead and go to the organic keywords here. So now we can see what keywords that the site is ranking for, where they're ranking for them overall. I did notice a couple of things. So for example, if I take this 200 bowling score and I'm going to drop it into a incognito window, and bowlingball.com is the first one, so a couple of these that I punched in, it wasn't the first one. So I'm curious as to how accurate all of these are. So let's look at another one. And let's say that it's number 1, 900 Global Badger. Let's see what that one pops up as. Yeah, bowlingball.com still there. So with these, it seems to be relatively accurate so far. Maybe the site that I put in earlier was just a little smaller and maybe it didn't have it wasn't super accurate. I will say they will allow you to put any website into here. You don't have to verify that you own the site or anything. I'm curious if that's going to come back and bite them later, because you want to be able to, you're giving this type of information, get some type of information from the customer to make sure that they actually own the site. For example, I don't own bowlingball.com, but I'm able to look at quite a bit of information on it. So once we get through here, you can see the organic traffic is going back quite a bit of ways. We can go down some more to get the organic keywords. Let's look at the Content Explorer. So this is where we start to jump in to AHREFS and SEMrush territory in terms of being able to find different types of keywords. We can add our competitors that can do some gap analysis with this, so you can see what topics one website is ranking for that you're not ranking for, at which point you can see whether or not you need to start to create that content or not. You can do domain comparisons with other different websites within your niche, but it's pretty good. The information is good. I wish it was a little more granular into how much I can organize the data. For example, Ahrefs is very good at just putting in as many filters as you need so that you can get specifically what it is that you're looking for. Let's jump into that with the keyword research. So the keyword research, let's for example say I want to do bowling pins, right? I'm going to go ahead and click on search keywords and I get 672 results. So that's a lot of keywords, but what I can do at this point, it gives me the keyword difficulty. I will be honest, the keyword difficulty really with any keyword tool is not that great usually. Don't depend on the keyword difficulty. Actually look at the SERPs and see exactly what you think you can rank for. They give you the CPC or the cost per click. This is real helpful if you are running ads, but it's more helpful too if you're creating organic content, which most of us are. Creating this organic content, we could see the commercial value that these particular keywords would have based on how many other people are bidding for these keywords. We get the search volume. Again, very similar to what we saw in the very beginning, but 672 results is a lot of results. I like to look for question keywords. So from here, I can go to search and then put in like why. It's going to pull up all of the keywords. So why are bowling pins called Skittles? Why are bowling pins called pins? Why are bowling pins shaped the way that they are? So some decent things you might want to look at. It might be a little too specific to write articles for. Let me put in should. See what pops up. Nothing. Let's do can. All right, so candles, candy. I didn't pull up. Let's try a different keyword. So let's do bowling ball. All right, so bowling ball is still not pulling up as many results as I'd like. I'm going to get a little more broad and just put in bowling. All right, you get 1,034 keywords here. So I'm going to do can, or let's do should. Got 112 keywords. What weight bowling ball should I use? That's probably a decent question to use if you had a bowling site. And the search volume is decent for it, around 800. How heavy should a bowling ball be? And 112 of these results. You can click the drop down here and get all the results on one. You can export these to an Excel doc if you needed to, but as you can see, it doesn't give a lot of granular information regarding this. You kind of need to know what you're doing going in order to be able to find these keywords. But if you're using a tool like an Ahrefs, SEMrush, or an SEO Diddy, chances are you kind of know so far what you're looking for. But that's the keyword research. You can also click on keyword ideas, and this will give you keyword ideas based on your website. And then you can put in the keyword as well, and it'll give you tons. Like this one right here, bowling, gave me 38,000 different keywords. And here I can do something like could, just to find some question type keywords. It's going to filter through all of that. Didn't find one at all. Interesting. Let's try should again. All right, so this one took all those 38,000 and got it down to only 16. What size bowling ball should I get? How often should you clean your bowling ball? Yada, yada, yada. So these are, some good keyword topics that you can most likely go for and rank for decently well. If you were going for it, it would need to be better than what's already there, especially if you are going against a website like bowlingball.com. Now, related keywords. This is kind of like a broad search. So you can put in a word bowling, it's going to find things that are closely related to it. Hadn't found a lot of value in it so far. You can see from a very broad term like bowling, it pulled up 7 things, which really isn't that much. All right, let me look at the rank tracker. The rank tracker could be worth its weight in gold right there, right? So if you did go in for the $79 over at over at AppSumo, you can get a keyword tracker that's going to track 300 keywords for you every month, and you'll never have to pay for it again. So that's not a bad thing. So you can put in as many keywords that you want up to your limit, and then it'll check it literally every single day, which is really awesome. At the very top here, you can look at the resources that you've used. So based on what you've come in, one of the things that AHREFS has been criticized for recently is the fact that they're not telling people how much they've used so far, which means people are bumping their heads earlier in the month, and all of a sudden they can't get their work done, which is pretty crappy. But SEO Diddy does a good job of just showing you what you've done so far. This does not update immediately. You do have to wait about a day or so to get the results for these, for one thing that I've noticed so far. All right, so from the rank tracker, we can just punch it in. It'll tell us whether or not keywords are going up or going down. That'll give us indications as to what we need to be looking at, if we need to punch up some content, add some new content, some frequently asked questions or whatever to existing content to try to get our rankings back. That's pretty good right there. When we look at the backlinks, now the backlinks are okay. They're not amazing. With a couple of sites that I put in, I noticed that it was missing backlinks that are being reported on other keyword tools. But to be honest, AHREFS is probably the biggest and best backlink inventory that's available right now. So it's really hard for anyone to compete with them, but you can get enough. I will say, in terms of using this and maybe an Uber suggest, this is probably slightly better than Uber suggests, if I had to say, because you can get a little bit more information on the keywords that you have, where you got to fight with a lot of reports and stuff within Uber suggests. It just takes too long. The thing is, AHREFS and SEMrush are like the gold standard, and then everybody else is just trying to catch up, just to be honest. So with the backlinks report here, as you can see, there isn't very much you can do with the backlinks report. They do have a domain rating and a page rank that you can use. They use their own scoring system for this, so it really just depends on what tool that you use in terms of that. Like, for example, this one right here is 212, where this same website probably only gets like 20 or so if you're using AHREFS. But you can organize everything here. You can export them to an Excel sheet and at least have the information available. But again, it's okay, and it is going to get better. So regardless, if you do want to give SEO Diddy a try, I do recommend you at least give it a try. You do get a 60-day money-back guarantee, so you can try it out for 2 months, and if it's not for you, then you can return it and get your money back. So there's very little risk. I definitely recommend trying it out, seeing if you like the way that it goes. One thing that you want to pay attention to as well is here it is right here, their roadmap. This is their public roadmap. So usually with any of these newer tools, they are telling you what they are doing and planning on doing in the future, and then you can actually make suggestions as well as to what tools and what features they add. So if you're using the tool and you're like, man, I really wish it could do this, it would be very beneficial for you to keep track of the roadmaps, make suggestions, because you're probably not the only one who has had that suggestion as well, at which point It makes it very easy for you to see. You can shape this tool basically the way that you want. See here, for example, this is something that they're going to be adding soon, a new dashboard that will include Google Analytics and Google Search Console data. You see that was missing when we were going through our little run through, but regardless, it's a newer tool. I definitely recommend you at least give it a try. Go to bloggerevolution.com/SEO Diddy. That's bloggerevolution.com/SEO Diddy. Give it a try. Let me know what you think down in the comments, and have a good day.